It is the Mosley Show, and we're off and running on a Tuesday. It is draft week. I want to remind you that we'll be doing a live draft show, NFL draft show, Pete Souza show, and the Mosley Show. We'll combine forces in Northlake, out there kind of Denton direction, headed out there. Oh, I don't know. There's South Lake, and then there's Northlake. And this place is called the Argyle Open. The Argyle Open, Argyle. It's a big golf place, indoor golf and fun and huge screens. And they'll have the draft on, and then and I'm sure some drafts, if you know what I mean. 6 to 8 is that live show, and Souza and I are going to conduct that. And Pete and I are good friends, and so that'll be a lot of fun. That'll be a live draft show coming to you from out in Northlake, and then I'll probably filter over there to the Cowboys facility because, of course, lots will be happening. Cowboys will be on the clock. The clock is going to be a little quicker this year. Instead of 10 minutes on the first round, they're going to have 8 minutes, so they have reduced that a little bit to make the draft go a little quicker. And so and not all the teams take their full allotment of time. So we'll see how all that works. We've got breaking news coming in. We'll react to the news coming out of New England today because Mike Vrabel has addressed the scandal that ended up with Diana Rossini of the Athletic / New York Times fired. What will happen to Mike Vrabel? Well, nothing. All right. And he's had some difficult conversations. So let's all come together in prayer for Mike Vrabel, who's had some very difficult conversations there at the house, but wants to keep everything private, did not take questions on the matter, did talk to his players about it, so he wanted to keep that private as well. So, what reporters will do now is dig in and get back to doing the good work of reporting, which, by the way, does happen. And when some reporter, whether it's an ethical, moral, whatever you want to call it, in this case, it seems to be the moral stuff is that they got to take care of that on their own. The ethics of journalism looks like all sorts of lines were crossed here. Did she deserve to be fired? Sure. I mean, every story now that she's done on the Patriots is brought into question. But again, in typical form, she pays with her, and by the way, somebody will probably hire her. Like, honestly, the guys over at Pardon My Take or Barstool will probably bring her back. So has she done the last reporting of her life? Probably not. She'll probably be okay. But, it's just the embarrassment for both of their families and all that goes with that. But again, the NFL head coach, with whatever this scandal is, it appears like an alleged extramarital affair was occurring, or what? I mean, again, I don't know how long it's gone on. Who knows? But the coach just has to kind of apologize, say, hey, I've had some difficult conversations, and then he will move on with his life. And she probably will too, but it's just embarrassing and by the way, the ESPN story came across over the weekend that they had coordinated their responses, and they had been in touch. She had been in touch with a crisis coordinator, a crisis management type team to manage this. And they both pushed back, but both, when given the opportunity, and I'm talking about the New York Times Athletic, gave her the opportunity. Okay, show us these photos to show us that other friends and other people were there with you guys. Well, again, when you start trying to cover up things, people are going to ask for evidence of that. Hey, okay, well, if these photos were, misrepresented and there were other people there hanging out, just show us those photos. Just, some photos of your friends who were at the resort with you. This happened right before the NFL owners meetings, which this was down the road from where that was held in Phoenix. This was in Sedona, I believe, at a beautiful resort. I mean, Kev, it's a no children. It sounds like the kind of guy that has 7 kids like yourself might enjoy kind of an adults only getaway with the spouse. But that's the key word there, the spouse. All right. If you are a public figure, and Kevin, you're a public figure like in Waco, right? Probably, I don't know if that would like go across state lines. So we'll say, I think probably, Kevin, not that you would ever participate in this kind of activity, you would have a better shot of moving in and out of one of those facilities easier than Vrabel. No. I'm not proposing that you do this. I'm just giving the example. But Kevin, didn't it
I am confirming that.
Didn't that look like a nice spot though? That Sedona.
Yeah,
didn't that look
absolutely.
like a place we would enjoy taking the girls and our wives? In a story like this, you have to be very clear. But yeah, Kev, Vrabel can just kind of go, it's personal, and the reason he can totally do that, Kev, is because like the NFL's not investigating. The NFL's doing nothing. Like NFL's not in the business of, we're going to try to hold people to journalistic standards. No, they're just, hey, get our games on TV, pay us billions of dollars, and we're okay. Wait, what did Vrabel do wrong? Well, that's, in their minds, that's for him to handle with his wife. I mean, there's no, I'm sorry to burst the bubble if you think that every NFL head coach since the beginning of time is the most honorable person and is true to his wife until the day or until their marriage ends or the day they part this earth. Sorry to burst your bubble. He is not the first man to step out on his spouse. This is so anyway, rough story. Let's get back to what we do like talking about right now, and that is the NFL draft. We got all kinds of and a big show planned for you today. We got Campus Confidential about 1:30. We've got at 2:00, Jon Machota from The Athletic will be joining us, and that'll be good. That'll be good because he's done a 7-round deep Cowboys mock draft for The Athletic, and that's something I think we need to study and react to, and there's some names that I think you'll love on there. So we'll do Cowboys draft talk with Jon Machota from The Athletic at that is going to be at 2:00 straight up. At 2:30, Kayden Mingo. There he is, Baylor's newest point guard. And we'll clear this up for people, Kev, because people love to be duped. And they love to, they just cannot understand when they get drawn off sides on social media. Somebody put up there that Baylor had given him this enormous house in Waco. And again, when I saw the house, I thought, okay, this seems made up. And of course, I looked at who put the story out, and it was a parody account. It was somebody just being stupid. All right. No, Kayden Mingo, Baylor has not given him some $2 million mansion out there by Bear Ridge or wherever rich people live in Waco, out in Woodway, out 84, out wherever all the coaches live. All right. Anyway, we'll have a good laugh over that. Kev, something tells me, do you think Kayden Mingo is aware on social media that people have said he has a huge house that he got in this deal?
I don't know.
Do you think he's aware by now?
I think some of these guys, they're like way locked into all the social media and they know all of that. I know, like, for instance, like Tyrese Halliburton, he knows everything that's said and uses it. But then there are others that choose to just totally abstain to focus on the game. So I don't know where he stands. It'd be something to ask him.
That'd been a good word to share with Vrabel about 2 months ago.
That the internet exists and that pictures will be taken and could be posted. Interesting.
The word abstain is what stuck with me there. Yeah. Okay. It is the Mosley Show. And so that's what we do. We just, we kind of try. I was talking, Barfield had me on yesterday, Kev, and he was asking me about the show. And in some ways, I'm an easy guest to have on, I think. Some ways, probably, if you're someone who likes to take control of your show and not have the guest talk for like 20 minutes straight, then I'm not a good guest. If you just like an easy day and you like to have a guest who'll just come on and talk forever, I'm your guy. And so I did that for Barfield yesterday. I think he got 2 questions in. Although it was good to see Lark. Lark's an old buddy of mine, Lark Smith, former Waco TV anchor, and now does work at Rogue. Everybody's come over to Rogue. I mean, it's the place to be, apparently. And I came over. Some other people have come over, and I mean, I don't know who's still over at the radio station. We've kind of taken everybody over here from that, but that's okay. I still love the radio station. Okay. 10 years of being on in Dallas, when it suddenly ended, it's like the show must go on. Where's my next platform? And somebody tried to hire me at 105.3 The Fan. And then somebody that I'd been in a fight with got involved and said, no, you can't hire him. And about couple of months later, here comes ESPN Central Texas. So I joke with them and take pokes occasionally, but I'm very appreciative of the people who brought me in over there. In fact, David Smoke was one of them that lobbied hard for me to come. I think he regretted that in the end, but I still am very appreciative of the work he does. And guess where he works now? Over here with us. So anyway, he's probably sick of me showing up wherever he is. Central National Bank. Thank you for being such an unbelievable lead sponsor for the Mosley Show. It used to be 10 to noon, then it became 3 to 6. And Central National Bank, the one common denominator was always CNB. We'll have a big draft day show planned for you. We'll do an abbreviated show on the Mosley Show. And then, of course, at night, we're going to have a 2-hour draft show that's going to be, and Kevin, I don't know. Again, who knows how much of a hand in that you'll have. I'd love to have you. I just know I'm going to show up at the Argyle Open. This is the name of this bar/golf indoor simulator. It is out in North Lake. So just search the Argyle Open. It's a really neat indoor, huge screens. We'll be watching the draft, reacting to the draft in that first hour, and then I'll hustle out to be with the Cowboys out there in Frisco, which shouldn't be that far from where I am. That may work out okay. Boy, so appreciative of everyone.
See, I think I'm going to enjoy the draft the same way that my Colts team will, with all of their executives just sitting around, watching, having no control over the first round whatsoever.
Well, I mean, that would be because the Colts do not have a first-round pick.
Right.
And you never know that could change.
They chose Sauce instead.
Well, and some people would say they're a little bit too much on the sauce with some of their decision-making, right? I did want to say, Kev, this is some breaking NFL news from earlier today. There's a few things coming down the pike we wanted to tell you about. So, Kev, this is coming from the land of the Jets. Let's do a little breaking news sounder just to kind of get our people charged. Okay. Oh, by the way, Kev, tonight I will be in attendance. Will you look, Kevin, while I'm doing this NFL story, will you make sure who's pitching tonight for the Rangers and Pirates? The other day when I looked, the Pirates were up in the air. Ashcraft from Robinson, Texas, right in the shadows of Waco. From Central Texas, one of the all-time greats, the young Ashcraft. It was either going to be him or Mlodzinski. They've been known with Mlodzinski to use an opener, and then Mlodzinski will come in, pitch a beautiful 6 innings or something. Kev, if you'll look up the Pirates versus Rangers pitching matchup tonight, I'll be out there. Roof will be closed because it's always closed, but it's also raining like crazy in the Metroplex today. My backyard is just a swamp, mainly because I don't have my gutters fixed. But anyway, I'm going to be out there for that, and it's a thing we do 2 or 3 times a year, and we get some tremendous access, and it's always fun. We get to go to the special club and have our bananas Foster and our pill and eat shrimp, and then we slip out there behind home plate, and it's one of our wives. Her name is Erin, and she comes up with I don't think she would mind me telling her last name too, Erin Threadgill, and she has this really great job, and they give her the company tickets from time to time, and she turns around and gives it to her husband and his buddies.
You ready for the pitchers?
I happen to be one of those buddies. Yes, who do we have?
All right. I have one pitcher, and that would be Carmen Mlodzinski.
Okay.
He is pitching for the Pirates.
He's starting.
Right. Undetermined for the Rangers. Ashcraft is tomorrow.
Wanted to see the young Ashcraft, but Mlodzinski's a good pitcher. What? How could we be sitting here on the morning of the game, and the Rangers are TBA? Hold on, I'm looking, folks. We've got to get this. We got to get this now that I'm looking. Let's see. Somebody pitching for the Rangers, the matchup today. First pitch is at 7:05, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this. For people that don't know, I'm a lifelong Pirates fan because of my boyhood. When I was 6 years old, 5 years old, I fell in love with the We Are Family. 7 years old. I was born in 1973. So I fell in love with the We Are Family Pittsburgh Pirates in those caps. And it has been a love affair that has just continued to go on. And so here we are. Pirates coming to town. Been a hard couple of weeks at the plate for Andrew McCutchen, and now his former club comes to town. Will he get a chance to show off? Man, I would love that. I would love that tonight to see the great McCutchen against his former team. That would be so awesome. All right. And man, Mackenzie Gore's concerning. I do not love the way he's pitching lately. So the Rangers come in. Now, the good news is nobody's running away with the AL West right now. 11-11 is just fine. In the NL Central, where the Pirates are, everybody's got like the same record. It's unbelievable. I actually think the Reds are 15-9 or something. They got a game and a half lead, but then there are like 3 teams that are 13-9, including the Pittsburgh Pirates, Cubs. I mean, it's just like everybody in that division is pretty much the same record. Okay. Sorry, Kev. I'm so excited about going to the game tonight. A little baseball segment broke out there. I've also been paying close attention to the NBA. Huge comeback last night by the T-Wolves, down 19 on the road. Here they come. The point of the game, I was really zeroed in on McDaniels for the T-Wolves. Just got rolling, man. I don't know. They could not stop him, and it was fun. Wait. Oh yeah. Okay, so that's that game, and then the Hawks won. The Hawks beat the Knicks. And I am Quinn Snyder's one of my favorite coaches ever, the Hawks coach. So they always have a chance when Quinn Snyder is at the helm. But I'm like, how in the world did the Hawks do this? They're on the road. I mean, I'm not saying the Knicks are great, but they're good enough to take care of the Hawks when they're at home. Well, the guy you see
I'll tell you how they did it. It's the Knicks in the playoffs. You know what they do?
Yeah, but I mean, they fired a coach after he made the Eastern Conference Finals, right?
Yep.
I mean, they were okay in the playoffs that year.
Till they met the Pacers.
I know, but I'm just saying they can win in the playoffs. They've shown that. They got some great players, and they've got their point guard is among the greatest in the NBA.
Flopping. Mm-hmm.
No, he's a great player. I mean, don't. I mean, if you get him for flopping, you got to bring up 20 other players. I mean, I'd get, yeah. No, he is an awesome player, and I think you would even recognize that. Now, the guy in the corner of that photo, though, McCollum, went nuts in that game at 32. That is playoff CJ showing up and getting that done. Okay, hit that breaking news again, please. Earlier today, the Jets, everybody's running interference right now. The Jets GM, Darren Maugey, Mougey. I guess at some point we need to learn it. I'm not, but it's the Jets. He won't be around long. They canceled, remember that story last week? They canceled a visit with the number 2 overall pick, David Bailey. And everybody's like, or the guy that had been mocked by some out of Tech as the number 2, David Bailey. And it's everybody's like, wait, what's going on? What's going on? Does that mean Arvell Reese? Maugey spoke at a press conference earlier today, pre-draft news conference. This is when they really start lying. These pre-draft, the Cowboys have one tomorrow. I may go out there for that. That's an 11:30 press conference. Jerry and everybody will be doing their thing. I may show up for that, but then of course, Kevin, we got to be on the air at 1, so we'll swing it somehow. Might be just a tad bit late, but we'll figure it out. In regard to David, this is the GM of the Jets. We had a good touch points with him in the combine. We went to his pro day, had a good dinner with him, and we were just kind of juggling over 30 visits and how to use them. I wouldn't look too much into a cancellation because there were some other ones that we may have changed as well. It's weird, though. Last-minute cancellation of a big-time top 5 caliber player. Says the Jets don't have to project which players might be available to them, obviously, because the belief is that Fernando Mendoza will go number 1. This does make that number 2 pick infinitely more interesting that the Jets are pulling some Jets-like moves here. The Jets have picked second only 3 times in their history, most recently 2021. Kev, do you remember who they picked in 2021? The Jets. Think about that.
Probably Sauce Gardner.
Oh, no. Number 2 overall, a quarterback.
Zach Wilson.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. How'd that work out?
Not so good.
The GM went on to say, we think we know what's going to happen at 1. We have these pool of players, and I'm like, okay, let's dive in. We know we're going to get one of these players, so it's good. But it hasn't changed the process of diving into each guy and stacking them. Bailey led the FBS with 14.5 sacks. Reese recorded only 6.5 sacks because he played multiple positions and had only 97 pass rushing opportunities. I think the thing that's so intriguing about Arvell Reese, there he is just that. I mean, Bailey is just, it's really hard to miss on a guy that's just like unbelievable edge rusher. He really could be a guy that gets you 10 sacks a season for the next 8 to 10 years. This is Bailey. Here's what Reese is, though. Reese's ceiling seems to be more of a Micah Parsons, more of a Myles Garrett, more of just that unbelievable Will Anderson, elite pass rusher. Now, again, teams at that point in the draft don't like taking flyers. Now, Arvell Reese is not a flyer, don't get me wrong, but you have to have a vision for Arvell Reese. Are you going to use him a lot like maybe Ohio State did? Move him all around? He can play off the ball. He can play on the edge. He can move down. I mean, this guy is both he and, Sonny Styles almost have the movement and the body types of guys that used to play safety. Sonny did. Arvell is more of a quintessential linebacker, but can you imagine, Kev, just year after year, you're able to just go get these monster players, and you don't even have to do it in the portal. The thing about Tech is that Tech loads up on Romello Height, Lee Hunter, David Bailey, Skylar Gill. They load up on those players in the portal. Ohio State gets most of these guys just right from day one. Now, that said, one of these guys, Kevin, I do think started somewhere else, but I don't have it straight in my mind right now. One of them may have started somewhere else it's very interesting to watch the true elite programs, how much they use the portal, how much it's about retention, and see, it'll be interesting to watch. Indiana is doing both. They now are so great all of a sudden that they can retain but still go out in the portal and add. I would say they and Tech are still in the same essential approach. They are not yet to where Ohio State, Alabama, and Georgia are in the sense of just retaining huge, talented guys that they got the high school route. All right. LSU is more like Tech and Indiana in how they're putting things together. Still getting unbelievable recruiting classes. Now, because of the DNA and because of how Signetti is, I still think Signetti won't be a guy who will spend massive amounts of money on freshmen. Other places like LSU, Tech, and Georgia will still continue to do that because they're doing it for the cream of the crop top 5 stars. All right. That is a new thing for Texas Tech. Now, Kevin, that's not to say that Indiana won't be able to go get the occasional 5-star. I'm just saying, I don't think Signetti's going to rewire himself to just go after a bunch of 5 stars. I don't think so. We'll just see how this all plays out. All right. It is time. We got major guests beginning at 2:00. We got Jon Machota from The Athletic. And then we, of course, have Kayden Mingo, Baylor's newest point guard. That happens at 2:30 today. All of that. And Campus Confidential, by the way, is next.
The Riesel Fair is back and bigger than ever. Bring the whole family for a day packed with fun, from thrilling rides, delicious food, local vendors, and live music Friday night. Saturday music begins at 2 p.m. Admission is $5 for adults, 2 to 12 years, $3. 2 and under are free. Mark your calendar and join us for the Riesel Fair, May 7th through 9th. The Riesel Fair, where memories are waiting just for you.
This year, I made a New Year's resolution. I want every business to own a new copier from CTWP. Call me, Leroy the Copier Dog. Let's get you a copier delivered today. CTWP, your local copier company.
Okay, that was really great for the first time on your own. Let's maybe take a break and then we'll come back and do some more.
Sounds great.
Oh, you're back. That was a fast break.
I know.
Hi, would either of you be able to assist me?
Yes, she'd love to help.
Oh, yes. I love assists.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor Women's Basketball.
At Schmaltz Sandwich Shop, we don't just make sandwiches, we build them with fresh ingredients, bold flavors, and homemade baked bread every single day. Toasty on the outside, goodness on the inside. Schmaltz Sandwich Shop in Waco is locally owned and operated since 1975 with 2 locations in Waco, Town West off Valley Mills and downtown off 5th Street. Whether it's lunch, dinner, or just a craving, we got the perfect bite waiting for you.
Everybody at Ecolife really has a passion and a real interest in helping people feel well. How much further can we go to get you feeling even better? It is a complete partnership between the two of us.
What if you could clean clean? With bio-based formulas and deep cleaning enzymes. No dyes, phthalates, or mystery ingredients. Just powerful pods for your dishes and laundry. Now you can, with drops. Made clean, made to clean.
It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro.
It doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
I am obsessed with helping business owners increase their traffic and turn it into profit through the power of Pinterest marketing. It's this amazing platform where people are looking for ideas, inspiration. They have a problem and they're actively looking for a solution.
It's hard to find supplements that work. No, thank you. Plant-based supplements made from the Earth's most powerful plants for your immune health, gut health, workouts, and more. Find out more at auraorganic.com.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. NordVPN.com. That's NORDVPN.com.
We are back. The Mosley Show. Reminder, Jon Machota will talk Cowboys. We'll talk Cowboys draft coming up here at about 2 o'clock. And there's a lot of ground to cover. He's got a 7-round mock draft for the Cowboys that we need to discuss, and that'll be good. And then at 2:30, Baylor's newest point guard will be joining us, and we will discuss that. And that'll be Kayden Mingo. That'll be at 2:30, and so excited to be doing all that, bringing all that to you, and so very happy to do it. So let's go to Campus Confidential, because we got portal news to react to, and Kevin Hoosier Hall will join us for another exciting episode of Campus Confidential. Kev, what do you have for us?
All right. Lincoln Riley believes that USC has entered their championship window. Can they be the next Big Ten team to win a national championship?
Next, okay. Well, what is the impetus for this question?
Lincoln Riley said said that he believes that they have entered their championship window.
Okay. Now, interesting that you would bring this up, because just a week or two ago, we had the new defensive coordinator for the Trojans, Gary Patterson, on this show.
Uh-huh.
And, he was talking about the guys up front. They have 4 starters, 4 of the projected 5 starters, he said, are right at 400 pounds. I mean, we used to be impressed with like 310, right? 320. Whoa, man, these guys are massive. What? 4 dudes close to 400 pounds. I mean, again, that could be good or bad because I'm not. I just don't know if I'm going to believe that a 365, 370 pound man can move like you need to move to play that position. But okay, that aside, you always have a shot when you have a great quarterback. They have a very interesting quarterback. I don't know if he's great. I think he has some great characteristics. I think he's athletic. I think he can throw off schedule. I think he's capable of us having a Heisman conversation at some point this season. That's how good I think he is. Now, Kev, you may have looked at the schedule. Now that it's hard to know with these the expanded Big Ten, who all's playing who. The only thing we ever know for certain in this Big Ten is that Michigan's going to play Ohio State and that USC is going to play UCLA. Well, that's not a hard one for them, even though UCLA has a new head coach, and he did come from James Madison, all right, much like or exactly like what Indiana did, hired somebody from James Madison. That would be somebody named Chesney, not Kenny Chesney, but Bob Chesney, I think. Mm-hmm. Championship window. To me, you have to demonstrate and win like huge games the previous season and make enough noise to suggest, hey, we are knocking on the door. I did not see that last season. So I would have, like if we were, Kevin, if you were using one of your favorite game shows, Truth or Trash, I would call this trash, right? Not him as a person or a coach.
Right.
Just that's how I would regard this.
Their schedule: at Rutgers, Oregon at home, Washington at home, at Penn State, at Wisconsin, Ohio State at home, at Indiana, Maryland, and at UCLA.
Yeah.
I look at that and think at least 3, maybe 4 losses.
I see that, and I think they might be able to get into the playoff if it was 24 teams. And by the way,
which is kind of how they were last year too.
They're meeting. I mean, not to step on your toes if you're getting into some of this, but as we speak, Kev, right here in Dallas, Texas, where I am, right down the road, probably they love to meet at that whatever that huge place is out in Grapevine. Nobody who lives here ever goes out there. But boy, when they come to CFP comes to town, it's like, oh, let's go out to Grapevine. They got some good restaurants out there. Maybe, I don't know. I've only been out there when my daughter was young and they had some kind of icicle thing, or you could run around in you could do some what's the sledding or something.
Sledding.
Anyway.
Skiing?
Yeah, something like this. But no, I'm not buying it.
Do you think he believes this because of now having Gary Patterson? Do you think that takes it up a level in his mind?
Sure. I mean, although I don't think that was really their problem. I mean, D'Anton Lynn, son of Anthony Lynn, youngster from Salina, had been the defensive coordinator, and I thought that was actually, I mean, I think Lincoln's had some issues on his side of the ball. So I do think Gary can bring some things, and he brings a big-time adult in the room. Not that Lincoln's not, but just I think that's an interesting combination of just this highly decorated Hall of Fame defensive innovator with an offensive coach who in the past was thought to be extremely innovative. So, I think Patterson gives them a better chance, but I think their ceiling is 10 wins.
Yeah. All right. What do you think of Muhammad Diabate as Will Wade's first portal transfer at LSU?
Okay, remind me from Kentucky. He's coming over from Kentucky.
That's correct.
Okay.
SEC to SEC.
Yeah. What did he average? I mean, I have a hard time getting too excited. Half of these players are like, okay, this guy averaged 8.5 a game and 8 rebounds, and we're supposed to just act like, oh my gosh, here comes LSU. How in the world did they get the great Diabate?
Yeah, well, 8.8, 5.5 rebounds.
There you go. I mean, it's fun. I mean, if he's like a fourth guy or fifth guy or just kind of a rotation player, great. But so far, I've not been that impressed with what Will Wade puts together. You know, it's not as easy when everybody can cheat. All right, what else? What else do we have? And by the way, it's not cheating now. I don't want it to be like everybody, but yeah, the line still holds up.
Right. So, are you surprised that John Blackwell chose Duke after his success at Wisconsin?
No, I mean, let's as heartbreaking and as devastating as that was for Duke fans, what just happened. Shire, unlike Hubert, sadly, Shire knows how to put teams together. He's unbelievable at bringing in freshmen. That school, it's a basketball school. They've tried to kind of dabble in football. It's not what they do. They are the blue blood of all blue bloods. And this guy will be awesome for them. I mean, I'd kill to have this guy at Baylor. I mean, he's a Wisconsin. We in our mind, we know the way Big Ten teams are supposed to be built. And honestly, Michigan and Illinois and some of those teams that have gone real big have kind of gone back to that. But at places like Purdue and Wisconsin, I wouldn't say at times they've been really good, but I wouldn't say they've had the most athletic guards in the world. Well, this guy is athletic, can shoot. I mean, I would, again, this was, to me, I'd way rather have this guy than the guy they have number one in the portal, Momo Momcilovic. I would way rather have this player. So
because you're high on guards.
Yes, and Momcilovic can kind of play a shooting guard. Honestly, he's got great size and all that, but this is a true guard who can flat out score.
I say you complain about the points. He had 19.1 per game, five something rebounds and 2.3 assists. Shot 39% from three.
I like people who put the ball in the bucket. By the way, whoever came up with bucket getters, I mean, there's some of the weirdest sayings, and then everybody adopts it. It's like once Jay Billis says it. That's an interesting term. Let's all use it. It's like somebody on the Mavericks broadcast, who's a friend of mine, but at some point started saying it wasn't him that came up with it, but like he scores the basketball. He scores the. Why do we come up with just dumb stuff? Who cares? That's not a good way to like describe something. He scores the basketball. He just scores. He scores. Like you don't need to say all that stuff. Bucket getter. Give me a break. He's a bucket getter. He's a bucket getter. Golly.
So you got your bucket right there.
You like that? You like this? This is one of my oldies but goodies. Another broken egg. I always kind of like their coffee mugs, and so I either bought one or somebody bought me this. But it has I like the shape of it. Look at that. It kind of does it. It's not.
It's got a potbelly stove kind of look to it.
Yeah. Another broken egg. They for some reason every time I think that particular breakfast place is going to go away, they kind of make a little bit of a comeback.
So you mentioned the Jon Scheyer side of this. Do you think this has anything to do with something we talked about a month or so ago? Greg Gard at Wisconsin.
You mean just guys not loving Gard? Greg Gard?
Right. Greg Gard has trouble seemingly to get into the Sweet 16 past the first round, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Even given regular season success.
I like that guy. I think that guy's a pretty good coach. I mean, like literally, if they fire him, if I was out there, I'd be like, I'd go try to get Greg Gard. I think the guy can coach. I think, unfortunately, we just have to deal with the modern finances, and I would say Michigan, Arizona, Duke, Illinois, Indiana, they all, maybe even Iowa right now, they just all are I think they have more to work with, more money to work with. But I'm surprised Gard hasn't done better in the tournament, but I still think he's a good coach. I really do. I'd rather have Greg Gard. Now Ben McCollum's become great. There's just so many good coaches. I mean, it's really crazy because those three I mentioned. So you have to say Dusty's 1, Brad Underwood 2, McCollum 3 in the Big Ten, and then I could turn around and almost make an argument that those are also the best 3 coaches in the country. I mean, I'd probably put Kelvin in front of somebody, maybe Tommy, but and I could make an argument for Scott in a lot of ways, but you can't. Scott has really fallen off the last 2 years. Baylor has, and Baylor's trying to find their way back. And the guest we have at 2:30 today, Kayden Mingo, is going to try to help them get there. He has the 1 season at Penn State. So the great news is he either is great for Baylor and gets drafted, or he's good enough that the Bears try to hang on to him and do a deal with him to move forward. Now, how much did Baylor give Isaac Williams? Woo, wouldn't you like to know? Wouldn't you like to know? Because that would be very telling. A good player, not yet a great player. They do a 2-year deal because they needed some retention. I would love to know what the Bears gave Isaac Williams. No, just a reminder, by the way, Kev, we did get the news yesterday. It's official. Jake Lindsey coming to the Baylor staff to serve as GM and assistant coach. This will look more like this will look a little more like what Michigan. Now, he doesn't have the experience as a coach that the Michigan GM / assistant has, but I do think it'll look a little bit more like what Michigan is trying to do. And why not? Why not try to emulate the national champions? That's a clean-cut looking dude. Kevin, there was a time when the young Mosley kind of had a very similar look to that right there. Had the short hair, the tie, was thin as all get out. I just didn't quite
I've had that look before.
I didn't quite have I didn't have the handles that Jake had. Church league, I was fine. Like D1 level, no sir. But Jake, great to have Jake back.
Last one I have for you is college adjacent. Do you think now that Billy Donovan has left the Bulls, is he going to make a return to college basketball? Not sure if this is the year. It might be too late, but maybe next year, the year after. Does he have a place back in college basketball, do you think?
Isn't it weird how this works? Like that like a team in the NBA might fall all over themselves to hire Billy Donovan, who's just kind of been in obscurity with the Bulls for more than a decade, right? I think if he sits out and doesn't go take another NBA job, and he's truly interested and open to being a college basketball coach, he will be the most sought after college basketball coach since the Lakers and others went after Danny Hurley. I mean, like, if he came back to the college game, who would you say right now is a better coach than him in the college game? I would simply say Hurley, Dusty, Patino, and that'd be about it. Maybe Coach Cal, just being nice to Coach Cal. But this dude is a flat out awesome college basketball coach. And his time has kind of been wasted at a place where they've really not done anything. So if he comes back, he would immediately be a top 5 college basketball coach. And you say, well, Matt, would you put him in front of Underwood? Would you put him in front of Kelvin? Yeah, probably so.
He's won 2 national championships.
Would you put him in front of Mark Few? Yeah, I think I would. Yeah, back to back, I might add.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's not like Florida was brimming with all kinds of history or anything at that point either. So he kind of made something out of not much.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I was trying to think back to some of their coaches over the years, but I think you're right. All right, good stuff. It is time. Kevin, I enjoyed that. Good job on Campus Confidential. Jon Machota to talk the draft, and then the great Kayden Mingo, Baylor's newest point guard, joins us at 2:30. All coming up next.
Lake Waco Golf Club is a semi-private facility nestled along the north point of Lake Waco, one of the few facilities in Texas to have a full 18-hole regulation golf course as well as an executive 18-hole par 3 golf course. Plus, check out their bar and grill, which is open to the public. And if you're not a golfer, then enjoy time by the pool or even enjoy fishing around Lake Waco. Become a member today and call to book your tee time. Lake Waco Golf Club, where family and friends fun begins. Check them out at lakewacogc.com for more information.
This year, I made a New Year's resolution. I want every business to own a new copier from CTWP. Call me, Leroy the Copier Dog. Let's get you a copier delivered today. CTWP, your local copier company.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
We're celebrating the Declaration of Deals at Allen Samuels in Waco. Right now, get $11,000 off a new Ram 1500 Lone Star, plus 2.9% for 72 months. Cash in on $11,000 off a new Ram 2500 Lone Star Crew Cab, or choose 0% for 36 months, plus no payments for 90 days. Feel secure with America's best full-size truck powertrain 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty at Allen Samuels.
Come by, let's be friends.
With Ease US, make studio quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects. Never been easier to create professional grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated. Each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Dive into adventure with scuba.com, your ultimate destination for top-tier scuba and snorkeling gear. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, trust scuba.com for the best in diving equipment and expert guidance. Explore now at scuba.com. That's SCUBA.com. Scuba.com. Samsonite is the world leader in durable, high-quality luggage and travel accessories. Travel with Samsonite and pack confidence every step of the way. Shop now at shop.samsonite.com. Samsonite.
So all you have to do is tap your Popple to the back of someone's phone, like that, and they instantly get your social media and contact info right on their screen. They don't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. So get your Popple today and start impressing everyone you meet. Make it pop.
Golf Partner, the world's largest golf store network, offers more purchasing opportunities than anywhere else. With a dominant market share and a wider selection of quality secondhand golf clubs than our competitors, we make it easy for you to enjoy the game with affordable, top-quality equipment. Golf Partner, overwhelmed by your inbox? Clean Email is here to help. Organize, clean, and manage your emails with powerful automation tools. Say goodbye to spam and clutter and enjoy a stress-free inbox. Try Clean Email today at cleanemail.com.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
All right, it is the Mosley Show. And a man who has appointed himself Cowboys GM for the week, I think we'd all be in favor. I think a lot of fans would be happy to let him have a crack at this. Now, and John will love this, in 30 minutes, the new Baylor point guard, Kayden Mingo, the big ticket item for the Bears, will be joining us. But first, Jon Machota from the Athletic, now joining us from all points unknown. But John, welcome back to the show. Very busy week. And yesterday, I mean, you generally we don't like stop our lives for kickers, do we? It's like, but when it comes to the Cowboys kicker, I mean, it's like even a kicker thing can create drama and can kind of be out there throughout the offseason. So, John, are you happy to have that one behind you? They do have their deal done with Brandon Aubrey, making him the highest kicker in the history of the game.
Yeah, I mean, for me, yes, I am happy for it to be done because I like when these things happen, like right before free agency started. They got a deal done with Javonte Williams because then I can write about these things when there aren't like 5 different signings happening at the same time, like in free agency will happen. I guess for most teams, the Cowboys generally don't do that many, but you definitely get on that first couple of days of free agency where you feel like you're writing like multiple stories. So yeah, when they want to do these on a day where I'm just mock drafting, that's fine. And I think the deal is fair for both sides. I thought that Todd France, being his agent, would maybe hold out for even more, like maybe $8 million. You know, I'm sure you've heard that floated out $10 million possibility. But my time being around Brandon these last 3 years, like Plano kid, like obviously loves, you know, being the Cowboys kicker, has had a lot of success, been to 3 Pro Bowls in 3 seasons, you know, been all pro all 3 seasons. And then also just like the kick inside, like AT&T Stadium, it would not surprise me if he was like, Todd, they're giving us a good offer. I'm fine. Let's do $7 million a year. Let me just get this behind me. And I'm locked up for the next 5 seasons. And so I think it's good for all parties involved. Obviously, if he keeps kicking like he has, if he was to drop off, that's a different story. But as of right now, I mean, all you got to do is get pretty much a little bit over midfield and you're already in his range. So yeah, I didn't think it would get done. I thought there was a chance he played under the second round tender, which would have been like almost a little under $6 million for this season. But I'm sure he's happy to have this one behind him. Did you like the reaction out there to our friend Ian Rappaport when he suggested that Jerry, known for being extremely proactive? I thought that was interesting. I was like, is this sarcasm? I don't know. I mean, obviously the CD deal, the Micah Parsons deal, what will happen with this George Pickens situation, Dak Prescott, like a lot of their big name guys, it has taken them a while before they've gotten them done. So, yeah, I don't know what the point was on that one, but I saw that there was some community notes at the bottom of that tweet a little bit later on in the day where people were giving it a little bit of background of how that actually hasn't been the case for the Cowboys. So I don't know. I thought maybe he might have been joking. I mean, if it was a joke, it was a good, dry delivery, straight up. There were no hints. There was no smile. There was no crying emoji or anything to give it away. So good for him. And if anybody knows that, that's you. especially with that Amari Cooper cool plays tweet, for sure. I think around draft day is when I've been known to put one of those tweets out. And then one year, the one everybody ran with was something about Jerry. Oh, it was a Mosley fake. But, you know, again, I always think that it's outlandish enough, but with Jerry, people never know. And I think my tweet was Jerry has asked his scouts to leave him alone during this draft or something along those lines. Yeah. And I mean, you know,
even Archer, who can kind of be disgruntled about a lot of things, he knew, and all of y'all knew I was joking, but literally Yahoo and all these other sites just boom, they just go with it because it hit at a level where they wanted that to be true. They wanted that really sounded like that would be fun to be true.
Yeah. You should have just added in there that he had like his own like Street and Smiths magazine, and he was like, guys, I'll handle this myself. You guys go ahead and lead.
Oh my goodness! I guess I should I just put in my bio parody? This is a parody account. Yeah, I think at this point I might as well. Is any of this smoke? Are you buying any of this Jordan Tyson? As we get closer, and even people that like, Bobby and some of the guys you and I know and are friends with, there's this Jordan Tyson. People are like, oh my gosh, him to the Cowboys at 12. It could happen if some of their defenders are not there. And this guy, obviously had a great workout, a private workout the other day. Are you buying any of that when it comes to this player? Because he's an exciting player, and it now seems to be more people are comfortable thinking of him as a top 15 player in this draft. Where are you on some of this buzz that's out there?
Well, it's interesting to me because, yes, I've heard the same thing, that he's a player that they like. One, if this is true and these are facts that they really are considering him at 12, I would say then that would make me think that they must have a trade partner for George Pickens, because I don't know. They like Ryan Flanoy as their number 3. They obviously already have Kavontae Turpin, Jonathan Mingo, and you have CeeDee Lamb as your 1. So if you're drafting this guy to be how many receivers are you going to have on the field? Not to mention that you're already paying CeeDee Lamb, to have George Pickens under the franchise tag, and then now a first-round wide receiver, and you still want to get Ryan Flanoy out there and Kavontae Turpin. Like, your offense is already elite. Like, it doesn't make sense why you'd be doing this unless you had some other trade already in the works where you're moving George Pickens. Because the other part of it is, if you're drafting this receiver, well, you're not giving George Pickens a long-term deal. So you're just keeping him for 1 year, and then you're not going to really, I don't know. If they draft a wide receiver at 12, it makes me think that they're moving on from George Pickens, which I don't think they are. So I think it's more, I'm leaning towards the side of, this is a smoke screen, because the best possible thing that you can do right now in terms of where the Cowboys are picking is have a team want to jump you to get a wide receiver. Because 12, if they didn't have a number 2 receiver, 12 is a great spot, whether it be this kid, the Carnell Tate kid from Ohio State. There's going to be receivers in that spot, but it's like they need a top defender to fall to them. And if none of these receivers go before them, none of those defenders got a chance of getting pushed back. So maybe this is hey, we're going to put that out there and let teams think that we're willing to take this guy. So other teams think, well, we got to jump the Cowboys at 12 if we really want him. And then that pushes another defensive player to the Cowboys at 12.
Did what the Bengals do start making you think? I'm just trying to think what prompted you. You're playing the role of the GM in this column, to say, hey, if you were Jerry Jones, you would reopen talks with Max Crosby. And you make an interesting point, because obviously the Cowboys team doctor and one of the leading surgeons, orthopedic surgeons in the country, Dan Cooper's name came up as being consulted by the Ravens when they pulled out of that trade. Did that kind of inspire your thought on this and what the Bengals just did? And is it that thought that, my gosh, you could get somebody that would immediately be way better than maybe any of these guys that you could get at 12 or possibly 20? What is your what was kind of your inspiration for why you would get back into that?
Number one thing was Jerry just not 100% closing the door on it a few weeks ago in Arizona at that owners meeting. He said that it was unlikely, but he very easily, I know how Jerry is in those situations, he very easily could have leaned in on the Rashawn Gary trade, because if you remember, that Gary trade happens after they lose out on Crosby to the Ravens. And so he easily could have leaned in and go, no, we got our guy or whatever. But even he left the door cracked. And I also don't think he leaves the door cracked if Dr. Dan Cooper tells him straight up, this knee's bad, man, you want no part of this. Like, no, don't even. That's why the Ravens backed out. I took a look at the scans. It's not good. Like, this is a knee that's not going to be sustainable for another couple seasons. Like, don't do this move. Why would Jerry sit there and sit there and say, like, I forgot how he worded it, but it was basically like, well, but can I say it would never happen? No, I wouldn't say that. Like, I find it hard to believe if the scans are that bad, he would even consider it still being a thing. So when he left the door cracked, that's where I was like, well, yeah, the Cowboys offered a 1 and a little bit more the first time they went after him. Asking price of 2 1s has obviously come down with the way that whole thing went down with the Ravens. So if you can give 20 to them, because I maintain that the Raiders are going to move Max Crosby. I just do not see a player being traded like that. And then you bring him back in the building. You're like, hey, we were just kidding. We really want you. We love it. You're still our guy. You're the face of the franchise. Like, I still think he gets traded. And so if you're Jerry Jones, this is the type of splash move that you could make, to really get people interested. And it could be, the type of move that bridges some serious gaps on your defense, because the edge rusher you're getting at 12 or 20 is not going to be on the level of Max Crosby, not at least for the 2026 season. So that's why I had some interest in, if again, in the thing I wrote, I said that if Dr. Dan Cooper told me, yeah, I mean, there's some concern there, but we've seen this before. And there's guys that have played another 3, 4, 5 years with this. Then I'm opening backup talks.
Well, I'm sure Dan loved his name coming up in that Ravens deal. It's like the great villains that the Ravens look like after that. And then it's just out of the blue. It's like, well, Dan, Cowboys team doctor, was brought in to consult. And it's just,
I don't know if I would mind that, though, because his name is like connected with like Patrick Mahomes just had like a knee surgery that he did. Yeah. Like, he's looked at as like the guy for these major knee procedures. So it's like, yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, yeah, I guess it looks negative because they rescinded the trade, but like, you're also looked at as like, you're not even one of our team doctors, but you're so elite in your field that we're bringing you in, and I don't know. I think Cowboys fans, I guarantee you, if you've watched a Cowboys game, you've seen Dr. Dan Cooper. He wears like a cowboy hat on the sideline. I'm not talking, I know who he is, Matt, but I'm talking about like Cowboys fans when they watch the game. I promise you that you've seen Dr. Dan Cooper on their sideline. And then he works out of this Carroll Clinic, which is right across the street from the Cowboys practice facility in Frisco, their big compound that it keeps growing bigger and bigger too. So it's like, yeah, he's kind of the Dr. James Andrews of knees.
That's an open road hat, by the way, is what that cowboy hat is called. Sorry. And that's something, bad. I don't know if I could pull it off.
Yeah, you
but
could.
Stetson made that custom for Dr. Cooper.
Ooh.
Back in the day, I had such a good relationship with team doctors that Drew Dossett would step out of surgeries. And I'd be like, and I remember having a visit with him, and he's like, well, we're working on Marco right now, or something like that.
Oh my.
And I said, you better get back in there. You better get back in there.
He's backs, right? He does backs.
Yes. He's a spine surgeon. In fact,
I think he did Romo, right?
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's out of that same Carroll Clinic.
He was a great friend of mine, but I would send people to him occasionally. And to me, he was like the friendliest guy ever. And I guess he didn't always have like the greatest bedside manner. And so I'd send like a random, housewife to get like a back consultation. And then the husband would call me. He's like, why didn't you tell us about this guy? I was like, what? He's great. And I guess Drew was a little more, some of those guys that are very confident, like these surgeons, might not be the most like feel good. They're just going to come in and tell you like it is.
Okay. I like that.
Do you, and I called, by the way, when I had my cycling accident, I was trying to figure out who was going to put me back together on my neck. And I had Drew on the phone, kind of like, and I was bouncing names off of him. Like, what about this guy where I am at UT Southwestern? What about over at Baylor? And for some reason, Drew, I mean, I would have been fine with Drew doing it, but he wasn't maybe doing whatever I needed exactly. So anyway, he was like walking me through in those moments. that was one of those times, John, I was very happy to have friends in the medical community.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I had too many at one point. You know, it's like, wait a second, what do I do? And I ended up going with a former Duke linebacker. And I was for some reason, Dr. Carlos Bagley, who did my surgery, I felt better about the fact that he'd been a college linebacker. Some reason that made me feel more comfortable. I don't know, the fact that he had been in the trenches at some point. All right.
So do you ever find yourself rooting for Duke now, or
because of him? Maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
He was a huge, like anybody from Duke. He played football there, yet was a season ticket holder to basketball.
Okay.
And cared way more about basketball than he did football.
Yeah.
So I would say, at least in the immediate aftermath of that, maybe I had a softer spot for Duke
There you go.
than I ever had. The trade up to 6 that you propose if the Cowboys don't get into the Max Crosby business. Again, this is you saying, okay, I'm Jerry Jones this week. I'm taking over. I'm going to look at this. I like some of these scenarios that have been out there as far as, okay, so the Cowboys end up getting to pick at 6. And because of them moving those picks to get up, they maybe move down, but they get that 39 pick. And I think that's one of the scenarios maybe you were kind of using because that's where the Browns pick, by the way, for people that don't remember that. Who would you, if the Cowboys did come rolling up the board to 6, who is that for in your mind? Is that Sonny Styles? Is that for whoever has maybe moved on down the board, maybe even more than you thought? I mean, we think Reese and Bailey will be gone. There's this talk of Jeremiah Love now possibly going as early as number 3. If the Cowboys came up the board to 6, who would you be targeting there?
So because I don't think there is like this, Will Anderson, Aiden Hutchinson type edge rusher, certainly no Myles Garrett or Von Miller, but there's not like that. There's a chance one of those like Arvell Reese or David Bailey potentially slides a little bit to maybe 5 or 6. I don't think that will happen, but you just can't rule it out. And so in order, I would say Arvell Reese, then David Bailey, and then 3rd for me would probably be Caleb Downs. And then 4, very close by, would be Sonny Styles. If that Reuben Bain from Miami had a little bit longer arms, he would absolutely be right there with Reese and Bailey. I mean, the arm thing, you just hear too many former players and coaches talk about how it's tough to find someone with arms that short that has had long-term success in the NFL rushing the passer. Obviously on tape, and when you watch Miami, it's to me, there's no question the last 2 seasons, he's been Miami's best football player. And obviously these last 2 seasons have been the best Miami football in maybe the last 2 decades. He is outstanding player, but the arm thing is what's going to probably cause him to fall a little bit. But he would still be in the mix there. And then that Mansour Delane from LSU would probably be the 6th one out of there. Because to me, I feel like the Cowboys probably are going to say tomorrow at the press conference that they have Jerry will be the one to leak it, but he'll say probably 13, maybe 12, 13 first-round grades. They usually will somehow and I bet you those 6 defensive players are the only defensive players that they have first-round grades on. So if they really feel like the only way they're getting one of those 6 is by moving up, and then you get 39 in return, keep in mind, we're not just throwing this out there because it's just let's just find a team. The Browns want to trade back. I've done multiple mock drafts with our writers at The Athletic where we each draft for our teams, and the Browns are always trying to get out of 6 and get other picks. More first-round picks. So they would get 12 and 20. But at 39, there's a good chance that the Cowboys get a guy at 39 that they could have considered at 20. But for me, I feel like if you got Downs or one of those edge rushers at 6, that 39 pick lines you up perfectly to get one of these linebackers, whether it's the Jacob Rodriguez from Texas Tech, C.J. Allen from Georgia. There's a few inside linebackers, which obviously is their biggest need, that you're not taking those guys at 20, but you definitely would take them at 39.
Yeah. You just try to keep those Georgia kids off the roads and you'll be okay.
Well,
now, I liked your 7-round mock. And I also like when the comments, they're kind of almost treating you like the GM, right?
Yeah.
Good draft, Johnny. Way to go. Way to go. These are some names I know. You've done a tremendous work here. I also know you well enough to know this is very smart what you've done, because you sprinkle in the you're going to have a huge Cowboys audience. You're going to have a huge Texas audience. Now, the Cowboys audience that you have is kind of all over the place, right? But it never hurts to put in like a guy from Texas A&M. Now, I'm not saying he might not be a guy that would be someone they've looked at and all, and those names kind of jump out at me. You've got in the 4th round, 112th overall, Albert Regis from A&M. I can tell you I have a daughter who goes to A&M now, and so I actually go to A&M games. And I think he was either number 13 or 17. I don't know. And one thing you just see is he's just massive. And there's the good news that A&M linemen, kind of like those Texas linemen, are just really, really good. Like, they just seem to put out some unbelievable linemen. They recruit well in that area. Now they go and get guys in the portal. What kind of led you to Regis in that pick? And I think it's a good thought with the Cowboys trading Osa. There's this thought, well, they're solid. They got their 2 starters, right? They've got these guys that are paying $20 million a year, but you do still need a rotation. Like, this defensive coordinator is going to want more than a couple of defensive tackles up there. What kind of grabbed you about Regis? Because I'm very intrigued with him as well.
Well, to be honest with you, I wanted to get them somewhere, getting an A&M guy, because of Christian Parker's background with Mike Elko. When Mike Elko was the DC at Notre Dame, that's when he hired Parker. I think it was as a defensive analyst. And then they've worked together at A&M. Like, they have a connection there. And so I always go back to like the relationships, like, because see, this, like, where we're at right now is kind of a tough time in these like evaluations, because in the past, you could talk to a coach and they would have, 3-4 years of experience of being around a kid. Well, now in this portal era, you might have a player that you've only been around for a season or so, and now you got to go talk to 3 different schools about like the background of the kid and what you have there. Whereas it's like, I think Mike Elko is going to have a good feel for what guys are probably wired the right way for the NFL, and he obviously thinks highly of Christian Parker. So I just think that I mean, obviously Mike Elko's done a great job at Texas A&M. So it just kind of that fit. And then moving on from Solomon Thomas and Osa, I absolutely think that interior defensive line is a bigger need than people think. Like, Quinnen Williams isn't old, but he's not young, and Kenny Clark's not young. So how many more years are you rolling with both of them as your defensive tackles? Like 2, maybe? Like, you have to be developing another young, pass rushing. Well, he's probably not as much of a pass rusher as a, run stopper, but like another, defensive tackle that you can count on in there. So I was going to get him a defensive tackle at some point and just kind of fit with using Dane Brugler's The Beast and going off of just connections of like, because my big thing is this defensive coaching staff's young. Like, they know a lot of these prospects from whether they're coaching them, coaching against them, recruiting them in high school, recruiting them in the portal. Like, they're going to have a lot of intel on these guys, like, and they need defensive help. So if this is one of those, drafts where they draft almost all defense, I don't think that's a bad idea.
I think you and I would have enjoyed putting a publication out like that, The Beast. I think we would have really enjoyed pouring into some film and putting. There used to be something called, and I would take it to games, and I would actually have people want to grab it from me and borrow it. At first, they made fun of it, but it was that Football Outsiders Almanac.
Oh, yeah.
That thing used to be kind of a monster.
Yep.
And I would get that out of the backpack. And honestly, I couldn't make any sense of it. But like Gene Wojciechowski would be there at the game from ESPN.com. And he literally would write his column, and he'd be like, "Can I please see that?" And he'd be going through there. I'd say, "Sure." I can't make heads or tails of any of this stuff, but I'm always appreciative of people that, the Our Lads guys used to be big, and I promise you were like me at some point. You're getting close to the draft, and I'd go to New York City for the draft, Madison Square Garden, and then I'd kind of freak out that I didn't know enough, and then I'd start like grabbing a bunch of magazines.
Yeah, absolutely. My big thing on like what Dane does is like the whole idea of like, nowadays, anybody can pretty much get the film of these guys and watch them, but it's like, but Dane's also getting like intel about them behind the scenes. And that's a big one for me because there's a guy that can ball out on Saturdays. But if you tell me like he is just going to be a problem behind the scenes, I'm not saying that I absolutely am not drafting him, but that's the type of stuff I need to know because that can drop him around or so. Like, you know, I just think that there's too much where you see like people online that call themselves draft experts, know nothing about like the actual player as a person. Teams are spending millions of dollars to hire private investigators to follow these kids around. But because you watched his tape against VOD Tech, you know exactly where he needs to go in this draft. Like there's just a huge difference for me on that. And then the other one is just, you don't know the medicals either. Like all you'd have to do is show me like a great player. And then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, he's got degenerative knee condition. He'll be done playing in 3 years. And all of a sudden I'm not taking that guy in the first round now, you know?
Yeah, well, I'm sad we ran out of time because I know you really wanted to sound off on the Vrabel Rossini, the latest news there. But hey, great job. Love reading it. And then when I saw your third round pick, I'm like, is he throwing a bone to Clarence? Is he
arm length?
Is he showing some? You like his arm length? Is that
arm
guy
length.
like 30?
That's always been a Will McClay thing, man. When he drafts his corners, you got to have those 32-inch arms or longer. So
Malik, what is it, Muhammad?
Yeah.
Okay, something about the mountain in Muhammad, but I like it, and this is a fun. I would love to have seen a Baylor pick. I think why don't you do one final one and see if you can work the H-back Michael Trigg in there? Although I saw Michael recently try to do a vertical, and Michael had not been working on his conditioning apparently, but just keep him in mind. Tremendous H-back, as well as Josh Cameron. A really nice wide receiver. Sawyer Robertson probably ranked as about the 10th quarterback, so hopefully he'll go late. John, I appreciate it, and I hope to see you soon. Perhaps I will swim by the Frisco, but man, have a great draft.
All right, I appreciate you having me on.
All right, you bet. There he goes, Jon Machota from The Athletic, good friend, and does some really good work for The Athletic in his seven round picks. I think you'll love that. Okay, we do have Kayden Mingo about to join us, the Baylor, the new Baylor point guard. Excited to visit with him. That is next.
At Schmaltz Sandwich Shop, we don't just make sandwiches, we build them with fresh ingredients, bold flavors, and homemade baked bread every single day. Toasty on the outside, goodness on the inside. Schmaltz Sandwich Shop in Waco is locally owned and operated since 1975 with 2 locations in Waco, Town West off Valley Mills and downtown off 5th Street. Whether it's lunch, dinner, or just a craving, we got the perfect bite waiting for you. The Riesel Fair is back and bigger than ever. Bring the whole family for a day packed with fun, from thrilling rides, delicious food, local vendors, and live music Friday night. Saturday music begins at 2 p.m. Admission is $5 for adults, 2 to 12 years $3, 2 and under are free. Mark your calendar and join us for the Riesel Fair May 7th through 9th. The Riesel Fair, where memories are waiting just for you.
Bubble wasn't here. I don't know what people would be doing, like making PowerPoints or something. I love that I can sit down and build something the way that I think it should be built.
Bubble turns ideas into fully scalable apps. Try Bubble today.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. We deliver premier protection at affordable prices and express shipping. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
Better sleep, inspired by nature. Your back, hips, and shoulders will fall into perfect alignment in any position, meaning that you get deeper, more comfortable rest. Visit ecoterrabeds.com.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious.
Is your Mac running slow? Mac Booster 8 is your all-in-one solution to clean up 20 types of junk files. Get your Mac running like new again with Mac Booster 8. Visit macboost.net today.
I know you're gonna love this Kodak Dot Plus printer. You guys just connect it to your smartphone. I can assure you, you are going to love this printer as much as my family has. You guys have to check it out for yourself.
At Matt Piffle, we believe in celebrating your journey. Our unique personalized products are designed to boost your confidence. From custom home decor to meaningful gifts, we help you cherish the memories that make you who you are. Visit mattpiffle.com and start celebrating your story today.
It is the Mosley Show. We move on here. That was a good conversation with Jon Machota from The Athletic. And I like some of the players, Malik Muhammad, that he's taking. I like Albert Regis, man. I saw him in person at A&M games. So some really good stuff from Jon there. Kev, as we speak, Kayden Mingo, Baylor's newest point guard, is signing on. He said he's hopping on. So hopefully he has be looking for him, Kev. And I'll be able to kind of look in the area here. Even I can see him, which is nice. Now, if I had to like bring him on or do anything even slightly technical, it would be an issue. But I don't. I'm very fascinated too with the fact that he played, with VJ, or he played at the same high school as VJ. We'll find out how much crossover they actually had. Should I put my sunglasses on for the great Kayden Mingo, or go with my glasses? We'll see. I see him waiting in the wings now. Let's bring him on. Kayden Mingo.
What's up, Mr. Mosley? How you doing?
Wow, there he is. I like the lighting where you are. In fact, yeah, some of that blue light coming in. This is why I've had to put the sunglasses. No, Kayden, I wear prescription sunglasses quite a bit. And I don't know why, but it's kind of what I do. Hey, congratulations
Thank
you, and welcome to the Bears. Now, when do we get you back in Waco? Have you gotten to see Waco and look around a little bit at your future home?
Yeah, I took a visit last Monday, and it was great. The best visit I've ever been on, and I'll be back up at the end of May, towards the end of May, for the summer session.
What stood out to you, Kayden? Did you get to see some of your future teammates, and what about the coaching staff stood out to you?
I saw a couple of my teammates. I really like the fact that it's a Christian school, first and foremost. Me and my family really pride ourselves on our faith. And like you said, the coaching staff, I feel like these are all people I could trust, people I could see myself being around, and people who have proved themselves to do very well with guards and getting them to the next level and showing that they can be very effective in college.
All right, how tough of a decision was this for you? Because obviously, because of your athleticism and your background, you had a lot of people calling you, I'm sure calling your agent. Mm-hmm. Did it come down to between Baylor and one other? What were the other couple schools that you were considering? And what would you say, outside of maybe financial, what would you say was the biggest deciding factor? Was it that faith component that you were just talking about, would you say?
The final three were probably Baylor, Oklahoma, and then Providence. I ended up taking a visit to Oklahoma the next day, and that visit went very well also. I didn't get to take the visit to Providence just because of the timing of everything, but all three very good coaches, three very highly touted coaches who have proven themselves at the college level. And, I feel like just Coach Drew and his staff had the best plan set out for me. I feel like Coach Drew has proven himself to get so many pros at the next level, and done such a great job with the guards. And then, like I said, it wasn't really about the financial piece or anything. It was more so about the fit and who has the best plan set out for me and who believes in me the most. And at BU, I believe that's the best spot for me.
Yeah, I was a little worried about Porter Mosier because he puts on that kind of tight golf shirt. He's a very intense man. And I was like, oh man, we can't, Kayden, I don't want him to spend too much time in Norman, but I'm glad
great time at Norman as well. And Coach Moses is a great man.
Yeah. We got good restaurants in Waco too, though. Everything. We got very good environment. So Penn State, you kind of stayed more in your part of the country, closer to kind of where you played high school and all. What was your original decision to go to Penn State? Why did you choose Penn State, and how was that experience for you? Because obviously playing in the Big Ten, get some incredible competition. You put up very good numbers, but what was it why did you choose it? And how much were you able to develop in that one season there?
Yeah, being a freshman, like you said, in the Big Ten, one of the best conferences in the country, if not the best. It was great. You learn a lot from other players, from coaches, from teammates, and a lot of different things. And through the highs and the lows, you get a lot of different experiences. My decision to go here was more so my relationship with the coaches. Like I said, it was almost the same as Baylor. A place where I feel like I could grow, people I could trust, and people who believe in me a lot. So choosing Coach Rose was really a no-brainer at that time. With the other schools that I had, and I love Coach Rose to death. I love all the coaches, and I feel like this was the best spot for me to grow and for me to be who I am.
Who was the best player you guarded in the Big Ten, would you say? Is there someone who stands out like that you really had a fun matchup with?
I don't know if it was a fun matchup because I didn't play too well that game, but Nick Boyd from Wisconsin was a very good player, I would say. Nick Boyd from Wisconsin was a very good player. He was probably my favorite guard to watch when I would turn on the Big Ten game. So,
what was it about him, his game, when you watched him and even going up against him that you kind of respected and maybe even thought, I might want to add some of that to my game?
His mindset, and he's always on attack mode. A very fast player, pushes the pace. He could score at all three levels, and I always felt like lefties were just harder to guard, and he proved that.
How did the other guy from Blackwell, who just went he just went to Duke?
Yeah.
What'd you think of him?
He was very good. I think he scored like 20. He may have had like 20. He had a good game. He was a very good player as well. And them both in the backcourt was very hard to stop, and it was fun competing against the both of them at the same time.
What were those big scoring games like for you? You had 23, you had several games in the 20s and all, but like, would you describe yourself right now as a pass first point guard? You have good assist totals, so that would add up. Or do you just kind of play it by feel, like this game, they need me to score more? What was your mindset your freshman year going into a lot of especially those Big Ten games?
Yeah, really whatever the team needed, whatever it was that the team needed. Whether it was for me to pass or for me to score, whatever it was. When we beat Iowa, I only had 9 points. When we beat Washington, I only had 13 points. So it didn't really matter to me. Whatever it was the team needed, passing, scoring, defense. I feel like it's all part of winning at the end of the day. So.
What does Baylor say their vision is for you when Tweedy and Scott and everybody go, okay, this is where we think we can get you? Because obviously, like a lot of people, you're probably looking to play in the NBA someday. When they were talking to you and kind of having that plan for you, what was the biggest thing they kept coming back to?
Yeah, I feel like another thing that stood out to me about BU and the coaches and everything was their belief in me getting to the next level. They spoke time and time again about how much they believe I can make it to the NBA and I can stay in the NBA when I get there. And they feel like that was the best spot for me to do that, and I did as well. So they always remind me that they believe I'm an NBA player. It's just up to me to go out there and show it at the highest stage at BU. And yeah, they see me as coming in and just being me, really being me, shooting a three better, guarding better, fixing a couple things, and then hopefully I'll be at that next level.
What are you doing to get the 3-point percentage? Even some of before you got to Baylor, you had tournaments where you actually shot the ball extremely well from three. Yeah. Did not have the percentage you wanted to have maybe this past season. What are you doing, and what gives you belief, you can kind of get it back up there over 35%, which is, obviously where everybody wants to get.
Yeah, I get at least 500 makes every day from three. And then mid-range makes as well every day on the gun, or whether it's somebody rebounded for me. And yeah, we fixed a couple things with my shot, like the arc and the one motion in it, so there would stop being a hitch when I got around here. And yeah, so we've been working on it every day ever since the season been over. We got a goal set out, and we're gonna hit that. We're gonna reach that goal.
All right. Even at age 50, I've never gotten the hitch out of my shot.
Yeah.
Kayden, still working on that. Yeah. But now steals 2.1 a game. That was very highly ranked in the Big Ten. So I know you say you want to get better, maybe as an on-ball defender and some of those things. And I'm sure they'll show you film of Davion Mitchell. Not only now he's in the NBA, starting point guard for the Heat, but when he was at Baylor, you're actually at least as big as him. Probably, I would say you have better wingspan than he has. What is your wingspan, by the way?
6'6".
Okay. All right. How do you get so many steals? Is that more from getting in passing lanes? Is that do you like sneaking up on, what's the key to you putting up some really good numbers as a freshman, would you say?
I would say just having a feel for the game, really. Watching film, knowing what you're getting into, and then being aggressive on defense, having active hands, pressuring the ball, and then picking your spots. Really, you don't want to, be over aggressive and then foul, or not be as aggressive and then allow people to go by you and score on you. So just being the perfect amount of aggressive and picking your spots when you want to go make a play on the ball.
All right. Did you and VJ, I know guys are coming and going a lot at different schools, and you went to Long Island Lutheran. Did y'all cross paths there, and have you been in contact with him even since he's been in the NBA?
Yeah, me and VJ played 2 years together. We were started in the backcourt 1 year. His senior year, we started in the backcourt together. His junior year, I started a couple games, but we've been through many awards together, and we know each other very well. He called me when I was on the Baylor visit and spoke to Coach Drew and everything. So yeah, nothing but positives to say about BU, and he gives me advice for when I make it to the NBA about how it is up there and everything he's going through. So yeah, that's my guy. We can speak about anything.
What was it like with the two of y'all? How did you kind of play off each other? Did he like playing off the ball and you primarily had the ball in your hands? And did y'all have that kind of sixth sense, or could he give you a signal when he was ready to go for one of those alley-oops? What was that chemistry like?
Yeah, you don't really need the signal from VJ with the alley-oops. He'll go get her anyway. So we had another point guard we shared the ball with as well, Nigel James. He's at Marquette now, and it was all three of us. And then we had Cayenne and my brother as well. So everybody really had the ball at different points in the game. So yeah, playing with very good players helped me to get to where I am today. So yeah, playing in the backcourt with him was great though. We had many wins. I think we ended up the season 22-5. We took a couple tough losses, but overall the season was great.
Has he said anything to you about like what the NBA is like? Or what has he shared with you on that front?
Yeah, he talks about how much they emphasize the three ball, shooting the three, and how much spacing there is in the NBA. So it's kind of easier for him to get downhill and do what he does. And he always talks about how well of a defender he is, and I believe him. I feel like he's a good defender in his own right.
Now, Isaac, who you'll be playing with, really is a good shot blocker for a guard. You've got that length, like you were talking about. You got good size. Is that kind of part of your game as well? Is the timing to maybe get up there and get some blocks as well?
I haven't gotten too many blocks in my career. I'm still working on trying to chase people down and block it off the backboard. But if they shoot it in front of me, I'll probably block it if I'm there.
Do you, as a Penn State guy, were you rooting for the Big Ten? Which of the Big Ten, or do you dislike all those teams? Is it like once you're, play those guys, do you kind of pull for them? And were you pulling for Michigan in the national title game?
Yeah, I guess you could say so. It really didn't matter to me. I would just choose whoever I thought would win the game. And I feel like After Michigan got to a certain point, they weren't really going to lose. That was a very good team, and they had a lot of depth. They were able to. They played defense very well, and their offense, their pace, their shot making was all good. That was a very good team, and a hard team to play against.
Who is your favorite point guard in the NBA? And it doesn't have to be a point guard; it may be a different position. But who's kind of been your favorite player over the years, and maybe even currently, and that you find yourself watching the most? Like, I kind of want to be like that, or this is the guy I enjoy. And were you a Knicks fan or a Nets fan or what? No?
I always liked LeBron, really. So I was wherever LeBron was. But my two favorite players right now at the guard position, probably Darius Garland and Tyrese Maxey.
Okay. Don't make VJ mad by bragging on Maxey so much. Yeah, that's interesting. What does Garland do that you like? Because obviously he's had some injuries and everything, but certainly when he's able to play, he's put up huge numbers. What do you like about his game?
I like the way he's able to change pace, and they're both smaller guards, probably about my height. And I like how he's able to change pace. He's able to finish in the lane over other defenders. He makes his teammates better, shares the ball, makes the right reads, and he shoots the three good off the dribble or off the catch. And the same with Maxey, really. I feel like Maxey's he's been playing very well in the field of his own, really, at the point guard position with others also in that field as well.
All right. Notice you didn't mention Brunson. He does some of those things too, but you're not a Knicks guy. Okay. So are you going to now turn into Mr. Recruiter? Are you talking to anybody else in the portal? And obviously people are going to ask you about your brother Dylan, who you brought up. Baylor went after him. He chose elsewhere, chose UNC, I guess it was, but he's reopened his recruitment. Do you try to bring it up, or are you really more like, hey, I just want him to do whatever's best for him? How are you handling that?
I'll let him make his own decision. And, I'll be a recruiter if the coaches need me to, if they want a player and they tell me do this, I'll go reach out, let them know that Baylor is a good place and a good place to call your home for the next years.
Is it when y'all go one-on-one, does he ever get his fair share, or do you still, kind of hold the big brother thing over him? Like how does that go?
I would say I hold it. Yeah, I'll beat him for the most part. He'll get his couple wins, but as a whole, I think I tally more than him. What's
the biggest difference between you guys in your games? Because you play similar positions, but what would you say is the biggest difference between you and Dylan?
I would say he's more long, and he's more so maybe a little better skilled. And then on my end, I would say more physical, and I would give myself a better defender over Dylan.
Okay. We may get him on here at some point and have to get his answer, but it sounds like you still win about if one-on-one, which y'all probably don't do that much these days, but I would imagine back in the day. Now, where does this all come from in the Mingo family? You guys being obviously high-level basketball players, you and Dylan. What side of the family does that come from?
That's no side really. And we never. I believe my brother, my dad played football, so my dad always played football. He played Division I at Delaware State. He was a very good football player in his own right. He holds records at his high school and all. He always coached us when we were younger. And then my older brother was born before me and Dylan, and he played Division I at Howard. And my dad saw him all the way through. He had a couple trainers here and there, but it was mainly my dad. And then we just followed after our older brother Dalik, and he led the way, and we followed in his footsteps. And our dad just helped us every step of the way. And Dalik, since now he's our trainer.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Who's the best shooter of you three?
On the best day, I would say me.
Okay. But Dalik, does he take it easy on you, or is he still pretty tough on you guys as a big brother / trainer?
Yeah, he's definitely tough on us when he's training us. He's always holding us accountable, even when we feel like we're doing right and we may be doing wrong. But he doesn't play anymore. But before, when he played, he used to definitely beat us.
Last thing I had for you, I know it was a joke out there, but a lot of people believed it. have you seen the house that you supposedly own in Waco?
Yeah, I've seen that. That's not true, man. That is not true.
It's a nice looking house, though, don't you
Yeah,
think?
that's a beautiful house right there. I would love to live there after I'm done playing basketball.
Okay, so that was not part of the deal that
Nah.
that you ended up with a.
Maybe that's Coach Drew's house. I haven't been to Coach Drew's house, but that's not my house.
Isn't that crazy though? How like did somebody immediately send that to you and somebody put it out there? And the person who did it, it says parody account, but you know how it is.
Yeah.
Nobody reads that, and then they just roll with it and they go,
Yeah, just see
"Look
it.
how wrong! Look how bad college athletics is. This young man, this is his new home
Man,
in
that's
Waco."
crazy.
Yeah, who sent that to you, or did you like almost see it immediately when it came out there?
Nah, one of my friends from high school, he in the port right now, he sent it to me. Jaden Reed, he was at Northwestern last year. He sent it to me and it was just like, bro, is this true? Let me hold $1 or something like that. I was like, nah, bro, that ain't my house.
They're wanting to come to Baylor now to live in your fake house.
Yeah.
Did you reach out to Brett Decker yet, or have y'all touched base? I just, as this class kind of comes together, it'll be kind of interesting because you'll, get to know these guys in the portal real well because you're about to play with them. Have you and Brett talked yet?
No, we haven't spoken as of yet, but I'm sure we'll get on the phone pretty soon and speak about this upcoming year and how we plan to play together.
Okay. Well, he's having a nice time. It looks like in Miami. It's where he's training. So keep that in mind. That sounds like a fun place to go get some shots up. Kayden, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate the time and very excited to meet you in person when you get into Waco. And you've seen this team when you were in high school or probably junior high, they won a national title. And I'm sure, you saw some of the stuff from that. Lots of NBA talent has come out of Baylor. So something's coming after you there.
Yeah, it was a little bug.
We know one thing you're scared of. But anyway, welcome to Baylor. Excited to get to know you. And thanks for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a blessing to be on here.
You bet. There he goes. Kayden Mingo, the newest Baylor Bear from Penn State. And obviously a good dude. Man, he and Brett, both pretty serious-minded guys. And, 6'6" wingspan, gets in the passing lanes, gets the steals. I think he'll become an even better defender. Said of his brother, of the three brothers, he is the best shooter. And the great news is, he's going to get a chance to show that and show some improvement. Isaac Williams comes to Baylor as like a 28% 3-point shooter or whatever it was, wasn't good. And literally last year got it up to right around 40% for the season, 40 or 41%. You know what? That's something Mingo could totally do. And I will say one of Baylor's greatest 3-point shooters ever had a hitch in his shot. He just found out how to use it. Now he got in pro ball, and I'm sure they tried to fix it, and I haven't seen him shoot in a while to know if they fixed it. But Maceo Teague is who I'm talking about. And I promise you this, the man had a hitch. So they're trying to get that out of and you got to be careful with that because, part of this is what makes you the player that he's become. So you don't want to make too many drastic changes, but if there's a change you can make to get the form better, that is great. Kev, I want the form of like that Braylon Mullins form on that famous 3-point shot. To me, that's a good looking form. Do we have, Kev, do we know yet who the Rangers starter is tonight? My gosh, this is bugging me. I'm going to the game tonight, and Ladzinski is going to start for the Pirates. Rangers kind of had a TBD going into this game because they had the off day the other day. Their young guy, Ashcraft, is going to start, by the way, for the Pirates tomorrow. He is from the Waco area.
Apparently it's saying Kumar Rocker.
Okay. Okay, just wanted to get this before
that's
I
what
went
the
out.
Google says, so I'm not sure if that's actually true or not. I didn't want to bring this up during Kayden Mingo's interview, but I was reminded that Lamar Wilkerson from IU did put up 44 against Penn State this season.
I'm glad you didn't. Notice he did not mention. Thank you for showing.
He did. Yeah, he mentioned another time, but apparently he forgot about that one. So.
Oh, he said he mentioned Wilkerson at some point or not?
No, he didn't. He didn't mention that. Apparently he's blocked that from his memory. Probably good.
Well, I bet it was another guard for Penn State who was trying to guard Wilkerson that night. Let's just put it that way. Even on MLB.com, it says TBD for the Rangers versus Mlodzinski. Now, let me tell you about this though. Mlodzinski has just put up unbelievable numbers, and the Pirates may have the best starting rotation in baseball right now. We immediately think of the Dodgers. Dodgers are sitting there about 16-6 right now. They're doing fine. But the Pirates' numbers are just unbelievable. Now, as a record, they're 13-9. They got off to a 1-3 start. You say, Mosley, why do you know so much about the Pirates? It's just, it goes way back. Listen to this, Kev. And by the way, NBA. Hey, Kev, real quick. This is the landing. This is the end of the show because we had these two great interviews to end the show today. Kev, what was I going to ask you to look up? Oh, look up the NBA matchups tonight real quick. I just wanted to run over them real quick and talk about where that is. Last night had a couple of upsets because the Hawks got a big win, 107-106. Was that game? Over the Knicks. And then T-Wolves had a big comeback in that series. So, and then Rockets and Lakers get going again, I believe, tonight. Okay, here we go. Kevin's got it up. We got Spurs and Blazers. Wemby's he's just too much. He's just too much. I mean, the guy he's standing next to right there is probably 6'9". That dude's probably 6'9". Look at Wemby. Look at Wemby. All right, we got that. So we got that series gets going again tonight. Boy, and then we got Lakers and Rockets. And the other day, Kevin, I mean, I think everybody's just thought that they said game time decision, but they thought KD would go, and he didn't. And they don't have a point guard. They didn't have any spacing. I mean, Amen Thompson's out there, Shepherd. They did not look. I mean, that was really a bad effort from the Rockets. I mean, how could you roll that out there? Shane Goon, the offense looked like a mess. I think, LeBron had like 13 assists. Of course, after the game, he was more interested in talking about he and Bronny being on the court. And it's like
KD is listed still as a game time decision.
Yeah.
And how about this night in Boston? At the same exact time, the Sixers and the Celtics and the Bruins and who are they playing in the Stanley Cup? But the Celtics, the Bruins, the Red Sox all play simultaneously at the exact same start time.
Boy, Cam's going to be so excited over this.
Oh, I talked to him. I talked to him this morning. He said he's going to have the TV, a miniature TV, like a mobile kind of TV, and the laptop all set up to all consume all games at the same time.
I mean, I love that that's the kind of story that you love so much, is when there's some weird confluence. I know that you're going to be all over that story. Yeah, I mean, when you look, if you want your heart to break for a franchise, look at like what the Sixers have done. Now, love that they have VJ now, and Maxi's become a great player. But if you look back to decisions they made when the Celtics ended up with their two best players, it's just sickening. Because one of them was Ben, what's his name, who's not in the league anymore. I don't think he's on a roster. Played at LSU for 1 year, Ben Simmons. And the other one was just somebody, Markelle Fultz. And in both of those drafts, which they tank forever to try to get those players or the top picks, they pick Simmons and Markelle Fultz. In those same years, the Celtics get Tatum, and they get both of their big two. They're two great players that have obviously led Jaylen Brown have led them to an NBA championship, one NBA title, maybe more to come. Because who's the best team? Who's the best team in the East right now? Well, Celtics, Cavs. I mean, what's crazy is in these playoffs, freaking Orlando they look like they've kind of gotten it together. They're an 8 seed that finally kind of has everybody playing, and Paolo, he's scary, man. When he's into it, and he seems to be in the playoffs, he's a very scary player. And freaking Wagner, is it Franz Wagner? The guy can flat out play sometimes.
And next year in the East?
Yeah. Oh, your guys? Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see if Hallie, can get it all the way back. And if he can, I mean, yeah, why not? But, it's a lot to ask because they this year went became a tanking team. But
right. Liam did point out, as we did our Pacers Close of the Season podcast, that the MVP is probably Rick Carlisle. Because he had the most to risk. He added 63 losses to his legendary coaching career just to do what needed done this season.
Oh, he's saying he should be coach of the year. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, as far as we were giving our Pacers superlatives for the season, and he said that regardless of a player, that Rick Carlisle probably deserves that title.
All right, thank goodness we kept talking about the Pacers because 47 seconds ago, the Rangers did make it official. Kumar Rocker is on the mound for them tonight to go up against Mlodzinski. This will be fun. Mlodzinski has put up unreal numbers for the Pirates. Rocker, I don't know, man. I don't have huge expectations. Connor Griffin's been hitting better I get to see the future of baseball at shortstop for the Pirates in Connor Griffin. Mlodzinski's a really good pitcher. Kumar Rocker, hopefully he's part of the future of the Rangers. This is going to be fun. And I get to see out in the outfield, or maybe he'll DH, the 6'7" guy who used to play shortstop, O'Neal Cruz. Is that right? Yeah. For my Pirates. This will be so much fun. All right, Kev, good show, man. All we can do is just keep stacking them. And that one, really some good stuff. We'll get a lot of these interviews and we'll kind of get it out there and move it out. Kevin, I think I'm allowed to say this because I talked to him last night. Brandon, who works with us, our colleague, he and his lovely wife had their third child. It is another girl. And so, of course, as only I could, Kevin, I'm asking him late last night. I'm like, I didn't see any shorts today. I didn't see any deals. He's like, well, we had a child today. So I quickly moved into, that's awesome. That's great. And
it's his third girl, so he's never going to be able to use his own bathroom.
Yeah, but it's a very cool name, but I'll save that for him. I don't know if he wants me to put that out there, but very cool girl name, I would have to say. So way to go, Brandon. Shout out from us. And mother and daughter are doing great, I'm told. Now, by tomorrow, we need you to be doing all the shorts and putting all the videos out that you do such a good job on. All right, Kevin, let's send our buddy Zach. Just so you know, I think Z is helping us out with some of that today. So I think Mingo talking about his brother and talking about his I thought he had some really good stuff. So anyway, let's timestamp that for the great Z-Man, Zach Burke. Everybody have a great one. It is now 3:05. We have gone 10 minutes over. We have to pay the YouTube people all this extra money because we've gone overboard today. We will be back with you tomorrow at 1:00 straight up. Good night.
As part of Central National Bank's partnership with Baylor Women's Basketball, we ask Coach Collin to take a shot at improving the efficiency of our drive-thru.
The lane is open! Drive the lane! Attack the lane! Go! 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 Go!
We have a few kinks to work out.
Is this what you had in mind when you invited her?
No. I think you should say something to her.
Me?
Let's make Craig do it.
Okay.
You're gonna take this canister and you're gonna shoot it up.
Be all right. Be all right. Just be confident. Hey, Coach. Can I have a word with you?
Craig, not right now! I'm with a customer.
Okay.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor Women's Basketball.